Hello everyone. I am working on hats right now, and I decided I'd go live with you for a few minutes. I can't go very long because Mr. Pam will be home in about an hour and I've got to get his supper fixed, but I thought I would show you what I was doing. I put the aprons, not aprons, but the denim jackets aside for a minute so that I can get a few hats done. Had not planned on doing hats for Florida, but so many of you have asked. Hi, Gail. Hello, hello. Gail, I just put your Santa in the mail. So he went out in the mail this morning about 3 hours ago, 3 or 4 hours ago. So fingers crossed that he has a safe trip. I tell you, they have got to be really, really rough with some of these packages for them to be damaged in the way, because they're in thick boxes. They've got bubble wrap around them, and sometimes I think they just jump up and down on them. Hi, Elaine. Hello. Let me see if I can get y'all pulled up over here on my iPad so I can see comments, hopefully. Never know if we can or not. Takes it a little while to catch up. But so I'm working on denim hats. I finished a couple of pink. I finished a pink one and a turquoise one. I'll post pictures of all of them later on, but I'm working on a couple of denims right now, and this is as far as I've gotten on them. So I'm doing some paint palettes on them, kind of like I did the blue jean jacket one the other day. So have a hat to match. So that's what I'm working on. So first thing I do is I put them on these wig heads, styrofoam wig heads. Hi, Shirley. Hello. And I just use these big hat pins and just pin them as tight as I can get them everywhere that I need to pull a wrinkle out. Like this one's got a pretty good wrinkle in it right there. So let me get another one. It's not really in my way, but I like to get them as tight as I can get them when I'm working on them. It just helps the paint go on better. It just makes it a little bit easier. So I just pull it out as best I can. And these are really hard to paint online because it's hard to get them in a position that you can see what I'm doing, because I don't have a fancy overhead camera or program to do that, but you can get the idea. So I use 9 times out of 10, or probably 9.5 times out of 10, I use a piece of chalk, just like you would get in the kids coloring section, just simple little chalk, and I draw my pattern on. For this one I used, I don't have the one that's smallest, but I just printed out a palette template, and I had a smaller one, and this one I put graphite paper under and then just drew it on there. So, but just whatever works for you. But mostly if I'm just freehanding it, I'll use chalk, and because I can just take a toothbrush and just wipe it off. And I've got a little bit of sparkle on the metal part of the paintbrush. So the paintbrush was the last thing that I base coated. And I'm going to take a little bit of brown and brown fabric paint. And we're going to draw some little lines up there. Let me see. Let me see if I can get this to move. I should have done this before we started, but let me see if I can get you enjoy the ride. Let's see if I can get you kind of up and over to see what I'm doing. Let's see. We'll see how that works. Not sure if it will or not, but we will see. I have to pull you over and turn you sideways a little bit. All right, let's try that and see what we get. So I apologize ahead of time that I don't have anything to really set this up so that you can just see right over me. But again, this was not planned, and I don't want to move everything just for a 30-minute live and then have to put it all back. Some of it I've got taped down, but I think you might can see what I'm going. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put right here on our little brush bristles. I'm just going to draw a few little, or just paint a few little lines, like the hair lines. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of dark right down here. So it looks like it's kind of gathered down there. And I'm just using a little bitty liner brush. So I get it chopped on, and then the first thing I do is I base coat everything pretty much in white, the first coat, just to give me a good foundation to paint on. And I mostly use fabric paint. This is Fabric Creations from Hobby Lobby, but I also love the Tulip. We'll grab it. The Tulip Soft. It is really nice. So I ordered some of that. I ordered off of that Tulip Soft. I ordered off of Amazon, but I don't know if if Hobby Lobby carries it or not. I'm not sure. But welcome, welcome. I am Pam Savage, owner of Young at Heart Creations, where we paint and create as often as we can. So I'm just going to make some simple little lines here with brown. And I'm starting them all right kind of in the center of where what we call the ferrule, the metal part of the brush would be. I can also pull it from the center and pull it away. Some are light, some are a little bit darker. And I know it's going to be hard for you to see what I'm doing. So I want to make sure to go all the way out here to the tip with some. And you could also do this in black bristles, whatever color you want. Okay, so let's see. Do I want to go maybe on the outside of it and outline a little bit? And this is very awkward, the position I have my hand in. So most everyone has received their Santas for the Santa workshop. Here comes Santa workshop. So we're going to do the same thing on this one. Got lots of messages from you that have already received yours. Now there's probably still a few that are on their way. I've only had, out of all of those I sent, I've only had one that received damage to theirs, and I've had to resend it. So let me see if I've got this where you can see it. It takes my iPad a minute to catch up. Okay, I think you can see enough there. Okay, this one I think I'm going to outline it first. I had a busy day. I wasn't planning to get out of the house, but I had to ship another Santa right quick. And so I just went ahead and did a Walmart run. Had to get some baby gifts for a baby shower. And taking food to a couple of families. We've got a lot of surgeries and a baby being born in our congregation. So we are all busy trying to take meals and make sure everybody's taken care of. I could have gone with a little bit lighter color in this, but I like how this is showing up. And I might go over it just a little bit, the bristles, with a little bit of that base coat color to tone them down a little bit. I'll see what it looks like after it dries. Now I have had lots of requests. I've been getting lots of messages from many of you that know that I'm taking these, the jackets and the hats and everything to the SA Live, Tamara Bennett's live event in Florida. And you've been asking me to put your name on one, that you want this one or you want that one. And I would love to be able to do that, y'all, but in all fairness to everyone, it's really hard to do that. I'm reaching for another color over here. Because I don't feel like it's fair to everyone, because so many of you are wanting them, which is wonderful, and I appreciate it so much, so much. I'm just so thankful. But I don't think that's fair to put names on some and stick them back. And number one, it's very hard to keep up with who wanted what and make sure you get the right name on everything. But I just don't think it's fair. So what I'm going to do is when we get there, I'm going to go over with this lighter color. We will have them out by the designated time that Tamara gives us, the first morning. And they're going to be out, and it'll just be first come, first serve. I don't know how else to do it. There's going to be nearly 200 women, and I've only got like 2 child denim jackets and 6 so far of the adult denim jackets. And I'm painting as many hats as I can between now and then. We've got a lot going on here. So I'm just going to bring the ones that I can get painted. And then I'm going to bring a bag of unpainted hats. And put a really good price on the unpainted ones so that you can go back home and paint one yourself. The main thing to remember on these hats, and I'll put a care instruction slip in each one, but the main thing to remember is these hats are not washable. Do not submerge them in water. You can take a damp cloth after I seal them and wipe them off, but don't wash them or they will be destroyed. I mean, the hat just ends up in a little ball. It's just not the right kind of hat for washing. This inside here is cardboard. Now some hats are washable, but these are not. So that be forewarned. Okay, and I do want to take some of that brown, that dark brown, and go around and put a little bit of shading just on the inside of that palette itself. So I put a little bit of moisture on there. And I'm just going to go around where that moisture is with a little bit of that brown. And I've got an angle brush. I'm not being real precise with it. Just want to get a little bit of shading to help it stand out more. I don't think you can ever go wrong with adding some shading to whatever you're painting. And remember, it's called floating. That's the technique. If you're using a color darker than your base coat color, then it's called shading. If you're using a color lighter, it's called highlighting. But the technique itself is called floating. And if you signed up for the Here Comes Christmas workshop and you ordered your Santa kit, be sure and watch your email. I will probably send out one more email just reminding everybody of the date on that, and it'll be right here on this page. Since I could not get the private group page to work with more than myself trying in several attempts. I don't know what it is that's going on with it. We checked, everything was set up properly, but it just was not working. And was letting some in, but wouldn't let others in that should be let in. So I decided to just get rid of that stress, and we're just going to do it here on this page. Which means, yes, everybody will be able to see it, but only the ones that paid received the actual kit to paint with the written instructions and a color copy also of a suggestion of what the Santa, how he can be painted. And again, that's just a suggestion. What I sent you, there's many different ways, and we'll talk about that when we go live with that. So I'm excited about it. Just Santa's going all over the United States. Okay, so I'm going to go around this little, it's actually the thumb hole opening, where if you were holding this and painting, you would have your thumb going through it to hold on to it. So I'm going to paint right around it. And then I'm going to show you the one that has the shading and the one that doesn't. So during the week of SA Live, we've got our new grandbaby that's coming the Friday before we leave. We leave on a Tuesday, and the Friday before that is when our little girl will be here. Had I known we were going to be having a new grandbaby, I would not have signed up to go to Florida. But we had already signed up and paid, and so we're going to go through with it. One of my husband's sisters is not doing well at all, and so the family is very anxious and sad for all of that. What she's having to go through, so I'm not sure where things will be come Florida time, but we're just going to do the best we can. Okay, I'm going to go ahead where this paintbrush is, and I'm going to shade along that too. And then I may shade after we get paint on the splotches. I may do a little bit of shading there, but just to kind of make that brush stand out a little more. I know this is hard for y'all to see. I'll keep holding it up. I'm not putting a ton of shading on it, just enough to help it kind of stand out and not look so flat against it. Okay, so here's without any shading on the palette and around that brush. Here's with. It just makes so much difference. I don't think I can get them both on there at the same time. But without and with. Hi, Jan. Hi, Heather. Thank you. Oh, okay. Well, I would have loved to have had you, Heather. The Southern Daisy is on here, Miss Gina. Miss Gina has a live sale tonight at 7 o'clock. Central Standard Time, and that's on the Southern Daisy. So she's having her first pre-sale live. Y'all will not want to miss her stuff. So that's the Southern Daisy with Miss Gina Flippin. So be sure y'all go tune into that tonight. This is her first one. Y'all show her some love. Oh, Heather, you've got some of these hats? Well, good. Okay, so I think I'm going to start with, let's see what colors I got out here. Let's start with some green to do our paint swatches. The other two hats I did were flowers. And I'm going to work on some more flowers. But right now I'm just going to put just some colors in these paint areas and then decide. I think I'm going to do each hat different as far as what's dripping from the paintbrush. So let's start with green. And I don't even care if I get outside that little circle area because they're just paint splotches. Okay, so I've got the green one on that one, and I'm just going to come over here and do the same thing. Since I've already got that green out, I'm just kind of tapping it on to give it some texture. And I don't want it a perfect circle. So let's dry those and put a second coat on them. And then when I finish the hat, I will put that Mod Podge fabric sealer on them and let them sit for a couple of days before I package them. Now, the last time I went to Florida, the SA Live at Florida, I took almost 100 hats and sold all but 2 of them, I think. I won't have anywhere near that this time. I may have a dozen painted hats this time. Now this green is pretty thin, so it might take a couple of coats more on it. I'm not sure. I've got white under it, but it is a little thin. Couldn't decide what colors I wanted to put on here for the paint, so I had this little thing somebody bought me, one of my friends bought me, and so I'm just going to go with those colors. This is a little ornament. Isn't that cute? It's got lots of paintbrushes on it. So I just pull my inspiration from whatever I have around me. Okay, I think one more coat's going to do it. Hi, Peggy. Hi, Rhonda. I used a pattern. Now, this one's a little bit larger, but I've got a smaller pattern. I just printed it off, and I've got that pattern, and then I pinned it on. Or actually, I don't remember if I taped it or pinned it on just to hold it. I put one pin up top to hold it in place, and then I put a piece of yellow graphite paper under it and traced it on. And it did get some graphite in places I didn't want it. But I just took an old dry toothbrush and wiped it right off. Okay, let's put one more coat of that on there. And I think that will do it for the green. And we'll go with yellow. I won't get this completely dry, but I'll dry it enough to where it sets it so that it's not running all over the place. welcome, Gina. Gina paints beautifully, so you will not be sad at all if you join that live tonight. I'm going to do my best. I've got a lot going on this afternoon, but I'm going to do my best, Gina, to tune in for just a little bit anyway. It's scary doing things online, even if you've been doing it forever. You get nervous about certain things, but when it's your first time, it's really, ooh, it can be nerve-wracking. Okay, so we're going a little bit of yellow, and it's still got a little bit of that green in it. Didn't get it washed out good enough. Let me wash it again. Okay, I think that got it. We shall see. Yeah, that got it. Okay, let's do this other one. You do, yes. You can get the trucker style hats, or at my Hobby Lobby anyway, in unfinished. I think they're like $5 or $6. Last time I looked, maybe they came down on them, I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to let that one dry by itself. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And let's do purple. I don't think my purple has a little piece of paper in there that's covering the hole. I need to get a piece of tweezers or something. I mean, some tweezers and get it out, because paint won't come out until I remove that, but it's already got paint all in the lid. All right, so we're going to go with some purple. Okay, on this one, I think I'm going to go purple on one down here and have a different color drip coming off the brush, so they are a little bit different. Yeah, so we'll do that one purple there. Switch to a little round brush, and I'm just using regular brushes that I typically use. I do like to get some, I have Royal Langnickel that I get at Walmart that have a little bit, they're soft at first, the bristles on them, but then they stiffen up a little bit. Not to where you can't use them, but to where they're just really good on fabric. I think you get three or four brushes in a package for around $5. And I have been using the brushes forever. Well, for 3 years doing fabric with them. Okay, now we'll need to do some white highlights on that. But let's also go and put some on the paintbrush. So that matches. Then I think I'll do red on the other one. Okay, I'm just dipping and putting a little more of that purple on there. Okay, let's put some more purple on this one. Once it starts drying, you can see that white underneath on some of the colors, so you may need 2 or 3 coats on it. Okay, so I think we'll put red. And I may have to come up with another color. I've got blue. Okay, so we're going to go red next to the brush and on the drip. I don't want to go over that brush with it. I want to go the bristles are over this paint splotch. Okay, so we want our paint drip red on this one. So just kind of outline it first and then just fill it in. Heat index here, I don't know if it was yesterday or day before, the actual heat temperature was like 98, 99, but the heat index, what it feels like, they were saying was up to 107. And I mean, it was warm. Okay, so I'm putting some on the bristles. So I learned a lot on this shipping out the Santa's kits for the Here Comes Santa workshop. I use Pirate Ship and I just love it. And it gives you whatever the cheapest way, whether it be USPS, the post office, or UPS, the parcel, United Parcel, whichever one's the cheapest is what it's going to give you, and then you can choose whichever way you want it to go. And so I just went with the cheapest each time I was printing my labels. And I charged y'all $8, or the ones that ordered, $8 for the shipping. And I should have charged 10 to 12. But luckily there were enough of them that were the cheaper rate that I kind of broke even on the shipping, or came a little out okay on it. And so, you know, I'm learning, and I'm thinking I know some of the ladies are doing this now. There is an option for you when you print your labels to insure the package. And I'm not sure how much it is. It's probably a couple of dollars or so. I'm not sure, but I will start including that, you know, on your total. That way, if something happens and they're damaged and broken, then we can get one out to you real quick and we don't lose money on them. So it's definitely a learning process. I'm just such a softie. And Mr. Pam was talking to me when I was figuring the shipping and everything on it. And then I quoted y'all a price, and he said, well, but did you think about, I said, well, I don't want them to have to pay $10 or $12. And he, you know, I said, just to mail something. He said, it's called shipping and handling for a reason. That handling means, did you charge enough for the box that you're putting it in? What about all the tape you put on it? What about all the bubble wrap that, you know, that wasn't free to you. And so, I know, but I just want them to feel like they're getting a good deal. And anyway, he laughed and said, you can't be tenderhearted when it comes to business costs and things. I said, I know, I'll do better next time. So anyway, it was funny. Now we're going to put a few little highlights on here too that will help this. I'm going to come down a little bit further here. I'm putting it on pretty thick because I want it to look like paint texture. I don't want it to be just flat. Okay, so there's the red one. Oh, hold it up here. And we need to put a red splotch over here. Yes, he is right. I know. Hi, Judy. Okay, let's put some red on here. And y'all, I've just got a few more minutes that I can hang out on here, but I just wanted to show you what I was doing, how I'm doing it. They're not hard at all. If you're kind of afraid to try it for the first time, just get you a cheap hat. This is no different than painting on the denim jackets. It's just a little harder because of the shape, but just pin them really tight on this, you know, your wig forms, and you should be fine with it. All right, let's dry those a little bit. Oh, you know what we didn't do on this one? Or did I? No, I didn't. I didn't shade around the palette, so I'll have to do that. But let me bring you back up here. Whoa, I don't know if I can get you up tall enough. Got it in a different spot there, so it's a little strange. But this is what they're going to look like, and here's the shaded one. And then I'll go around and I may put some little splotches here on the hair. I don't know yet what I'm going to do with it. But anyway, so that's what I'm working on right now because you asked. And that's what I've got on my table now. All right, ladies. Well, I'm going to let you go because Mr. Pam will be home in about 15 minutes. And I need to get him some supper going. But I just wanted to let you know what I'm working on here and there in between everything else. I didn't even put all my makeup on, y'all. But I was going to get on here anyway. All right. You struggle with those things too. I think we all do. I think we all do as crafters. You know, you want everybody to get a good deal and feel like they got a good bargain. And you just want to share everything. But it can't be a business if you give it all away. I know that. I know. But I love y'all. All right. Y'all have a great afternoon. I may get on here and paint tomorrow. If I get around to doing a jacket, I will hop on here for sure. But I will let you know. All right. Bye-bye.